Hello, great to have you here again for yet another insightful and amazing conversation on Sustainability Now podcast. It's been great conversations, and our goal on this podcast is to ensure that we are speaking in a way that is very simple, practical, and meaningful for you within the concept of sustainability, letting you understand the idea and framework behind it and why it is important and pivotal at this very point in time. So we hope that you're having great insights. We can see your comments and we would love to hear more of your views as well, even as we engage in these conversations. Today, we're going to be looking at yet another interesting conversation.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I'm excited as well about the topic for today because it's been something I have been observing as well as reading about. It stands as a big hurdle in achieving any goal whatsoever beyond sustainability. Most of the wicked problems we have in education, in healthcare, public health, in finance, economic growth stem from this particular problem. And that's the conversation about behavioral change. Behavioral change, comes from a foundation of culture, habits, belief, and practices. Routine. How people are shaped to think and act. So it takes quite some time to break those cycles that are already existing. So today we're going to be looking at some of these hindrances, these roadblocks that are leading to practices that are not sustainable, and trying to see how can we design programs and initiatives that would help to drive positive behavioral changes in people over a time frame. So we're going to start the conversation. I would like you to talk about your perspective about behavioral change and what would be like a pattern or a process that we can try to begin to drive positive behavioral changes in people as regards to living and practicing sustainable lifestyle.
Okay, thank you once again. I'd like to start with a story. I think the story will help me sell the point and help me drive it home. So, at a point in my life, my mom had an ailment. She was diagnosed, and that period, it altered how we lived in my family. Basically, it stopped an old process and gradually introduced a new one, and that has become like the standard. My siblings, myself, even my parents at home. And the funny part is, it wasn't like we were living anything way off, but it further grounded that lifestyle. It further like tilted it permanently through a certain route as against what could have been. There are sometimes that we have situations where if you see the parent and if you see their child, you would almost not believe that it was this same parent that raised this child, because the child is opposite the parent, character wise, everything. So this story, I was in my secondary school, rounding off, and then I had to follow my mom for some treatment, and it opened my eyes to seeing a better way of living as against what was obtainable. And even at that point then, things were not as bad as it are now. Things are not as bad as it is now. Yeah, right? So, but then if you could have imagined me as a small child telling me, oh, don't take sugar, don't take this, stay away from some certain things. And I was like, I'm just starting my life. How will you tell me not to enjoy it? Because basically, at that point, there were some things that we saw as enjoyment as a child growing up. But what that did is it gradually reprogrammed us, our way of life, our choices, our pattern. That's why most people that I've related with over the years, they know that there are some things you almost never catch me doing. And it further cemented my choice for a healthy lifestyle, healthy choices, and there's a relationship between living a healthy life and sustainability, because a healthy lifestyle is a sustainable lifestyle. A lifestyle that you cannot sustain is not healthy and is toxic. So why would you even engage in such? Do you get? So over the years, it's something sustainable, healthy lifestyle is something that I've paid attention to, I've embraced, and I've come to adopt as a way of life, which I continue to refine, and I embrace it. But for the sake of this conversation, why I mentioned that is, it was a programming. It was a programming that came as a result of a condition, and it was life-threatening, right? So you mentioned how people should change, or why should people change, or why should they embrace certain lifestyles. I would say there are like 3 major ways people can change or people can embrace better lifestyle, and that would be through incidences, either directly or indirectly. Mine was a secondary incident because it wasn't directly me, it was my mom, right? But I learned from it, I picked something from it, and it tilted my trajectory about my lifestyle choices and lifestyle patterns, right? For some other people, it is a programming, either by upbringing or by societal standards and norm, or even what they're exposed to over time. I like to talk of a Bible parable. When God told Jacob to set streaks of stone, of sticks in front of the animals, and that was how he altered their genetics to breeding different types of sheep or ram, whatever he had then. And Laban thought he deceived him, but no, he said, when you want to pick, Jacob said it was the animals that had patterns that were his, and the ones that were plain were for Laban. We've read it that he didn't do anything, he just placed something in front of them, and what they were seeing programmed their mindset, and it altered the genetic makeup of their offspring, right? And that can tell us something. Whatever a child sees, whatever an adult sees over a long period of time, it has the capacity to alter their thinking pattern, their decision-making pattern. And that's what a lot of corporations, a lot of marketing geniuses, a lot of institutions have used over the years to program us. Because I was programmed. Whether you accept it or not, there's a form of programming that we've been exposed to and has worked on us. Subtle, not subtle, mainstream, whichever you choose to accept or deny. And for that, imagine a child that is being exposed to a sustainable life from childhood. You see your parents recycle, you see your parents go for certain types of products, you see them engage in certain types of activities, you're engaged to educational programs that promote certain lifestyle. That kind of child, when they grow up, I will not be shocked if they make certain decisions and they are found engaging in certain activities, right? Those kind of children, they've been pre-programmed to go for long-lasting. They are programmed to go for durable materials. They are programmed to go for things that they can repurpose, that they can change to suit a certain function that they want it to. So that kind of child, when they go shopping, they'll definitely go pick a glass jar. They'll definitely go pick a very strong metal packaging, right? And for them, they're not just thinking of product use, they're thinking of after product use, right? Those types of people, when they see wood, they're not just thinking of wood as furniture. their mind is versatile. Their mind is open to bending materials. Let me use that word, because the kind of upbringing they had, it had exposed them. Their mind to creativity, to repurposing is not closed, it's opened. So when they see things, they can easily think of ways that they can repurpose it, they can reuse it, they can recycle, upcycle, decycle, undercycle, all of the cycles. But you get my point, right?
Yeah.
So there are programmings. Hey God, Oduayo, calm down. There are programmings, and it's either it's subtle or it's in your face. It's either you know it, you accept it, or you don't know it. But you can't deny the fact that it is there, right? And we can't deny their results because we all see it.
Yeah.
We are all a product of it. And let me give an example. Gradually, seeing children on makeup is becoming acceptable. Seeing children being dolled up is becoming acceptable. And if it continues, right, in a matter of years, it will be the norm. People won't even raise it as a complaint that, why are children not being children? At my age, I was playing with sand, I was doing this. You know, there are some comments you see online like that.
Yeah.
But then people like, oh, why is she not wearing makeup? Why is she not doing this? Why is she not doing that? Imagine now, okay, let me give this very vivid example. If you see videos online, how many percentage of those videos do women wear makeup? I'm asking you a question.
How many percent of makeup the videos?
Yes, like
almost all.
Almost all.
Yeah, almost
so if you
all.
see someone that is not wearing makeup, doesn't it look odd?
Yeah, it does.
It does. Yeah. But 10, 15 years ago, 20, how many people paid so much attention to that? I'm not saying makeup is bad. I'm just trying to give you like a very relatable statistics, right? And it's a programming. It has become a norm. So when you are not following that programming, you look different. But that is also a programming because of probably how you were raised, the things you paid attention to, or the things you prioritize. Because whatever you prioritize will determine what you consume, and what you consume will ultimately have a significant impact on your life's choices.
Yeah.
Do you get? So for sustainability, consumption, for consumer pattern, for consumer behaviors, it is what we are predisposed to. It is the programming we have. If you are the type that your parents want things quick, microwave the food, instant food, instant that, you will pay little or no attention to things that have passed through time and has value. You just want everything quick, you want it easy, you want it at your fingertips. And that's why they call a lot of people Indomie generation. But sustainability and sustainable lifestyle is not quick. It's not easy. It's a very mindful and conscious choice. It's a very engaging activity and tasks. You can't just wake up and just say, I want it quick. No. It's something that is giving time to. It's something that will take time from you. And it is that time that gives it its value. The most valuable things in this world, there are things that have gone through an extended period of time. It didn't just, Indomie is cheap, Indomie is quick. Whatever is quick, whatever is cheap, whatever is easy, they are not so valuable. So, right, another way for us to drive sustainability is to bring back the culture of value. Let's value people's time, let's value people's handwork, and let's pay for it. Cheap doesn't always mean it's good. And cheap, it robs you of time. It's temporarily cheap, it's temporarily affordable, but in long term, it's not. You pay the price, you pay the consequences. It doesn't come cheap. That's the sad part. It may look cheap, but it doesn't come cheap. And the fact that you're not paying the price now doesn't mean you won't still pay the price
later.
And there are different ways you can pay the price. Some people pay the price with their health. Some people live short time because of their choices, and it's irreversible. For some people, they realize that their choices are not healthy when it is late. But what can you do at that point? So it's a whole lot, and it's interwoven, it's intertwined, and it's not even something that we can exhaust on this one time conversation.
Yeah, sure. What I hear is consistency and patience, right? We need to consistently program a pattern for people and allow that play out over time, right? And that pattern needs to come from a place of design. We need to have true conversations, true understanding people's pattern, understanding the roadblocks, understanding the hindrances, understanding what they do now in order to, like a coping mechanism. What's their coping mechanism? When we're able to understand that, gain enough insights, then we gradually begin to introduce those programs, those patterns consistently and wait patiently to allow all of those processes pan out. It sounds straightforward, but in reality, it's not straightforward, right? It can be a tough process, but we don't want to go. We can have that conversation another time. The conversation I want us to have now is in the programming itself, in creating mindful and conscious patterns. I'm using the two words you used, which I liked the fact that achieving sustainability requires a mindful and conscious process. So in order to have that mindful and conscious process, designing those patterns and programs, you made a statement earlier, right? Not in this conversation now, but in another conversation, that producers can actually drive and have influence, or a larger influence and control, in consumer behavior. So how can producers actually drive or influence consumer behavior? What do you think producers should be doing in order to imbibe or create those patterns that would drive positive behavioral change?
This question is a pickup from this conversation that I just had, because it is a balanced society that will produce balanced leaders. Our producers are a product of the society. So imagine a child that was exposed to a certain lifestyle and becomes a leader or a producer. Their lifestyle would definitely reflect in the type of product that they produce. Do you understand? So imagine someone who grew up seeing their parents recycle things, repurpose things, and had certain conversations that their parents had. See how they integrated post-product materials into their household use and orientation. Just basically seeing how their parents lived sustainably. That kind of person, when they are designing their product, that is already in their subconscious. They're not just going to design for use only. They're going to design for pre-use, for use, and for post-use, because they are going to think of that full cycle moment. And it feels surreal, because it is a healthy society that will produce healthy producers, and healthy producers in turn help build healthy societies, because everybody cannot be a producer, but the people that are producing, are they thinking about the society? Are they thinking about the environment, and how are their choices influencing the environment? Do you understand?
Yeah.
See the number of waste we have. They are product of a producer's choice.
Yeah.
So when our producers help us to make healthier decisions, it goes a long way to having a healthy society, because that is where waste comes from. Primarily as consumers, your waste goes to the earth. Once you eat, you're passing it out. It's waste. Apart from that, what other waste do you generate? Every other waste is a result of whatever you've purchased. You purchase the furniture, you purchase the electronics, you purchase the food packaging, you purchase the car, you purchase the this, you purchase the that. So in that purchase cycle, at what point are we integrating it back? Are we just leaving it at the production stage and whatever the consumer does with it, that's their headache, or we are helping ourselves, both as producers and as consumers, is a loop. Because imagine seeing a commercial, right, where they told you that, oh, thank you for buying our product. But did you know that you can also give our product a second chance by using this container to do this, using this wrapper to do this, or bringing it back to the store where you purchased from. Our agent will retrieve it from there, and they will give it a second life. It's not just enough to put the recycle logo on your product. Do you understand? It's not just enough to put the recycle logo on your product, but what efforts are you putting in? You stringed us to buy it. There are brands that they've been in your face since you were a child, and they are still in our faces, but they're only telling us to buy. So now that we've bought your products, you never finish. It's still remaining in the house because that bottle is trademarked. That's products, what's the word that will I use now? That product package is trademarked for your brand. Do you get? So what string are you giving us for post-consumption? You're not telling us what to do. You just produced and gave us and told us that, oh, your product is the best, blah, 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 use it. Okay, so imagine I buy 100 units of a particular item. What will happen to the byproduct of those items? Will it be in my house? How will I dispose it? I've seen videos of parents that use feed for their children. Sorry, feed was not the right word. Cerelac. I don't want to mention a particular brand. All cereals. Those cereals for their children growing up. And you see a child, a family, probably they had twins, and you can see 101 empty cans. So what is the aftermath of that? And they have it in volume. So will it just be there? And it's a material. It can be recycled, it can be repurposed. So what are our brands, what are our producers telling us about their product when we're done consuming?
What happens to it?
They have a lot of influence. If you give us chargeback for bringing back your containers, consumers will bring it back because everyone wants value for their money. But if you just leave it as, oh, you've bought, it's none of my business, go come I don't collect my money, I do okay. Is not what the society needs. It's not, and what the society needs is a collective responsibility, is a shared responsibility. People in the position to make rules, they can help producers make certain rules and make certain policy changes where there are certain products or produces that they must go through a certain line. It must have a full cycle. You can't just leave it half-ended. And in turn, the producers themselves, the companies, the manufacturers, they will help their consumers by giving them platters of options to choose from. Oh, you can reuse it yourself. You can send it back to us. There's a collection center. Oh, you can do this. You can sell it. You can do that. Do you understand? So that people know that, okay, I'll do this. There's countries in the world where when you buy their product, they add maybe 20% of the cost because they want you to return back the bottle. They want you to return back the plastic. And when you return it back, they pay you back your money. Those are cycles, that incentives that encourage certain behavioral change and behavioral patterns. So imagine having a child that saw you returning bottle. When that child becomes a producer, that child will definitely employ such actions, such actions. So it's a holistic, it's a full cycle, it's a linked choice from upbringing to policies to design team. When everyone on your team knows that we can't just design something that cannot be repurposed, cannot be recycled, then everybody will look inward. Everyone will go back to their production room and think well before they churn out products. And that way, it will also affect the consumer pattern. It will alter the consumer behavior.
Okay.
And then it's a long-term thing, gradually till it becomes a norm. Till, just like I mentioned, imagine a child that saw their parents recycle, they'll also grow up to recycling.
Yeah, definitely. So it's not just enough for these producers to design sustainable products. The aspect again where they fail is awareness.
Yeah.
So they have a sustainability plan, most of them now integrating sustainability, only they just know it for themselves. There's no awareness. They're not educating consumers. They're not spending money on ads to tell consumers these are alternatives on how you manage our byproducts. No companies are not running or investing in such level of awareness. The only awareness where they are investing or putting things into
is
for you to buy. What happens after I buy your product? There's supposed to be an awareness plan for that. So why sustainability models are being integrated into organizations, those sustainability models and practice needs to pass down to consumers. So I think it's important for those awareness to start happening for most organizations, because the conversation of EPR, extended producers responsibility, have been a conversation for a long time. Reviewing that conversation, checking out the policies. But I think it still needs to intensify.
It needs to be actionable now. It needs to go beyond the books. It needs to go beyond the logo.
Yeah.
Or whatever you put on your product.
Exactly.
The public needs to be hand-fed.
Yes.
Let's put it that way.
They need to know.
The way you marketed to us to buy, you need to market to us to
you need to
channel.
Same energy. The example you gave is really very practical, especially children, because for children, there's a whole lot that goes into nurturing a child from childbirth to even age 5. Looking at the diapers that you're going to be changing, looking at the dairy products, the cereals, all of that. So what happens? There should be a strong awareness to tell people this is what you should do. And producers can even go with definitely the support of the government policies, making it easier for people to either recycle, right, or dispose waste in a way that it's not impacting our health or the environment. So there should be structures that needs to be put in place. So those structures are responsibilities of both the producer and the government through policy formations to ensure that those processes are easier for people. The collection aspect was where I found challenging, because I knew, because I work with the recycling company, I'm able to know the collection points. But unfortunately, I wasn't close to any collection point at the time. So I had to find a way to transport or get it there. I found a way to get it there because I understand the importance. But for a regular person, why would I sort, then spend my money? Do you understand? Spend my money to take it somewhere. So if we need to make things easier for people, when we make things easier for them, that's the programming, they just find themselves doing it, enjoying it. They find out it's really not challenging. So we need to find all the bottlenecks and take them out. And what you just said, I think we need to start finding a way to ring it, that producers need to start running ads on their sustainability aspects. They need to start creating that drive, the energy they put in their ads for people to purchase their products. They need to put that same energy into advertising to tell people this is what you should do when you're done consuming this product.
There's producer responsibility, yes. There's consumer responsibility.
Exactly. So those aspects. So producers can actually utilize media to drive this change, and it would really go a long way. Media is very powerful. It's a strong tool that I think
It's a programming tool.
Yeah, it's a programming tool. In this part of the world, we undermine it. But those outside, those big guys, know the power of media.
And they've
been using it. We're just unaware. We just don't know that there's a script that have been written and we're acting it. We're playing it out well. Effortlessly. Do you understand? The awareness is really important, and I think producers, part of the EPR aspects, right? I'm going to be having some research and conversations about EPR, and for me, I'm going to note this down and ensure that it's included somewhere. There should be a budget for them to create awareness for consumers, letting them know what everything means. Even some of the labels, what we see on labels,
people
don't know what it
means, and it's just there. They just feel like, oh, we put the logo.
Exactly.
That's
so
our response.
That's
that is one of
yes, you just don't want one aspect. Actually, so it's really very important. So behavioral change takes time. We need to be patient. But
that's why we need to start now.
Yes. Why being patient? We need to build consistency. But for us to build consistency, we need to do the right things. Yeah. Develop models that would
model the right.
Yeah. And begin to drive that gradually. I believe it's very, very possible. It's going to take time, but we need to start now. That's the essence. So the message
is sustainability now.
All right. So see you in the next one. Bye.